Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you've been following the absolutely breathless announcements coming out of Silicon Valley lately, you'd probably think we're standing right on the edge of some magical technological utopia. But we're going to be peeling back the hype of AI today, using some incredible insights from Parmy Olson's book Supremacy and Gary Marcus's Taming Silicon Valley. And honestly, the reality behind all this hype is absolutely fascinating and, well, a little terrifying. We're going to look at the actual structure of this industry, the hidden costs, and what it all literally means for your personal data.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Are we sleepwalking into an AI nightmare? I know, it sounds a bit dramatic, but we really do need to ask if the convenient, super chatty AI tools we're using every single day are actually just a vast, uncontrolled experiment, one that frankly risks our privacy, our agency, and is fueled almost entirely by your own personal data. We are being sold this incredible story of endless innovation, but as you'll see, the reality behind the curtain looks completely different.
All right, Section 1, the myth versus the reality.
There is this massive canyon between the utopian stories being sold to us and the harsh realities of the technology. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of the myth-making that's happening right now. On one side, we've got Sam Altman of OpenAI, who's basically proposing that his tech is going to create so much economic abundance that humanity won't even need money anymore, like zero need for money. And then on the other side, Demis Hassabis over at DeepMind has actually framed his work as the scientific pursuit to almost understand divinity. And hey, as you recently did to win a Nobel Prize. These are incredibly lofty, almost mystical ambitions, right? But our sources point out that these grand visions really just act as a shiny distraction. Underneath all these utopian promises, it's really just a ruthless, high-stakes proxy war between massive tech overlords fighting for absolute dominance.
Moving on to Section 2, the AI cartel.
To really get a grip on this proxy war, we've got to shatter the whole illusion of this free, open, and hyper-creative startup environment the Silicon Valley loves to talk about. The landscape is heavily consolidated. We've got OpenAI deeply entwined with Microsoft, while DeepMind is just completely owned by Google. The cost of building these advanced AI models has skyrocketed so insanely fast that small innovators, startups, academic researchers, they're effectively completely boxed out. They have little choice but to just act as renters. If they want to play in the AI space at all, they basically have to pay the cartel. They have to rent computing power from Amazon, Microsoft, or Google. It's practically impossible to compete independently anymore.
And you know, we hear this constantly from Silicon Valley, right? Regulation stifles innovation, but our sources argue a completely different truth. The real stifler of innovation isn't the government, it's the massive monopolies currently dominating the market. Think about this. Since tools like ChatGPT came out, the market caps of the top 6 tech giants have risen by a staggering $6 trillion. $6 trillion! That kind of centralized wealth and power makes it incredibly difficult, almost impossible really, for any true disruptive innovation to emerge from anywhere outside of that super small circle.
Which brings us to Section 3, the surveillance capitalism shift.
So the crucial point here is that we're dealing with a really vital and frankly alarming concept, surveillance capitalism. It means exactly what it sounds like, making money by invading your privacy, which inherently risks behavioral manipulation and a total loss of your digital autonomy. So why does this matter so much for AI? Because, as our sources point out, these AI giants are actually struggling to make enough revenue just by selling their software to regular businesses. Turns out, a lot of businesses tried generative AI over the last year and kind of realized it was just too unreliable for serious enterprise use. So, to justify their sky-high valuations, these companies are desperately pivoting toward a surveillance model instead.
Just look at these recent pivots by OpenAI. They are moving towards systems that ingest your personal documents, your private calendars, your emails. They aren't just learning random facts anymore. They are profiling your behavior. They even recently purchased a stake in a webcam company. And get this, they added a former member of the National Security Agency to their board of directors. I mean, connect the dots here, right? Your personal, intimate information is the essential fuel for this entire system, creating a massive risk for surveillance and data exploitation. Our sources strongly suggest that if they keep going down this path, OpenAI actually has the potential to become the most Orwellian company of all time.
All right, Section 4, the Great Data Land Grab.
Let's talk about the staggeringly high financial costs of AI, because that really explains why these companies are so absolutely desperate to acquire your data. Look at this massive number, $150 billion. That is the current valuation being floated for OpenAI alone. But does the math actually make any sense? Our sources openly question if we're just staring at a massive financial bubble.
When you pour trillions of dollars of investment into a technology that's, only returning a few $billions in actual revenue, things start to look incredibly shaky. In fact, Gary Marcus suggests that a few years from now, people might look back and see OpenAI as the WeWork of AI.
Let's move to and see how this builds with another astronomical figure, $50 billion. That is the amount of money Microsoft is reportedly spending just to build physical data centers, and some estimates say it might even hit up to $100 billion a year. This is a literal land grab. Startups absolutely cannot afford to build out this kind of immense physical infrastructure or buy the computing power required. This massive spending is very intentionally designed to cement a permanent monopoly.
But there is a second land grab happening at the exact same time. These AI giants are frantically scraping up all the copyrighted data they can possibly get their hands on online. Articles, books, art, music, you name it. Why? Because it's just cheaper to take it now and ask for forgiveness later than to actually license it properly and pay the original creators. They are literally vacuuming up the world's intellectual property without any compensation to train the very systems they plan to sell back to us, and that is effectively risking the entire future of independent creators and artists.
This brings us to Section 5, an uncontrolled global experiment. Let's pivot for a second to the inherent dangers of the actual technology itself, because we really need to dismantle this myth that these products are just safe, reliable magic. If there is one single thing you take away from this explainer today, let it be this. Generative AI has been wildly oversold. Yes, obviously it makes for a wonderful, totally fascinating demo, but as a reliable, factual tool, it is highly unreliable, it hallucinates information, it makes completely boneheaded errors, and it is most certainly not magic. Rolling this out to billions of people is essentially conducting a vast, completely uncontrolled experiment on the public, and that risks people acting on false medical, legal, or financial information generated by a very confident but fundamentally flawed machine.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the chilling reality of their self-regulation. This is a direct paraphrase from our source material regarding OpenAI's recent O1 model. They internally identified a medium bioweapons risk associated with the model. A medium bioweapons risk. And yet, they decided to just release it anyway. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that these massive tech companies are entirely setting their own risk thresholds. There is literally zero independent oversight stopping them from just rolling the dice with public safety.
And we all know the tech industry loves to threaten that any sort of regulation just kills innovation, but history proves that's a total myth. Look at the airline industry or seatbelt laws in cars. The FDA doesn't stop medical innovation, it ensures that we have safe innovation before totally new drugs are just sold to the public. Our sources argue that we desperately need an independent pre-release system for AI with actual teeth, a system where companies must mathematically prove that the benefits of their AI model outweigh the risks before it can be released on a massive scale.
And finally, Section 6, the coming tech reckoning.
So, after looking at the monopoly, the massive surveillance shift, and the unchecked risks, it's pretty clear a reckoning is coming. Governments and the public are finally starting to wake up to this AI illusion. Pushback is officially happening on multiple fronts, and we're seeing real structural challenges. The U.S. Department of Justice is actively investigating Google right now for illegal monopoly practices. The European Union just passed the AI Act, which actually gives regulators serious teeth. California called Silicon Valley's bluff by implementing brand new data transparency rules. And it's not just governments doing the heavy lifting. Civil society is fighting back with major lawsuits against deepfake platforms, and unions like the Hollywood Writers have successfully gone on strike to protect their livelihoods from being replaced by AI.
Which brings us to our final thought. It is incredibly hard to avoid using big tech's infrastructure today, right? They host our emails, our websites, our maps, everything. But if this technology is truly an uncontrolled experiment fueled by our privacy, our data, and our creative output, will we find a way to vote with our feet? If we don't demand transparency, safety, and fairness right now, what exactly happens when this experimental tech comes for our daily lives? It's a massive, massive question. I really hope this explainer has given you a powerful new lens to view the AI tools you interact with every single day. Keep questioning, keep learning, and hey, thanks for exploring this with me.